Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. So we got JC and Gustavo, owners over here at Fuerza Gym. You're in Gardena, right? LA area? Sweet. Yeah, they've got a really cool story. They've worked with me before in like a business coaching capacity, and even since then, I've just been continuing to crush it. And I think one of the easily the best gyms in LA. So excited to have you guys here. Excited to dive in.
Thank you, man. Stoked to be here.
Cool. So yeah, if you guys want to just start with, how did you get into fitness? How did you get into training? And we'll start there.
So actually, I was a personal trainer, like pretty much like right out of high school. So I started coaching people, just doing the bodybuilding split. I was like an athletic, high school kid, just trying to get into the gym. And, so started through that, went to the gym, got into personal training, little by little, build my business basically from scratch. And then got into CrossFit. Still coaching in CrossFit evolved into weightlifting, got involved in Olympic weightlifting for several years, still was doing training in that, took some time off, was like a gym bro trainer for a while. And then, pandemic happened. And like right before the pandemic, maybe like a year before that, that's when I started getting into like powerlifting. And, so I've been coaching like 13 years now, I want to say. No, actually longer. So it's more like 15 years then. Cause if I started coaching when I was 18, I'm 32 now. So closing in on like 15, 14 or so years, if I can do my math correctly.
Hey, well, we're coaches. We're not math critiques. Cool. That's awesome, man. And Gus, what about you?
I actually started a couple of years ago. I mean, I met JC back at another commercial gym, and we started working together. So he was my coach. So did that for about a year and a half, I believe. But I got into fitness just more for personal reasons. I just wanted to feel better about myself, and so started working together, and we just befriended each other, and then we just, been working from there. And I think it was mainly after the pandemic that we just both decided to open a gym, and then the rest is just history, just keep going.
Yeah. So one of the things I know I saw and working with you guys previously, and even just on stuff, you guys had a ton of equipment, I think in your backyard, or you were doing like at home training. How did you go from backyard training systems to?
It was like a gradual evolution, like the pandemic happened, and like we basically just started with like the cheapest equipment ever, and like little by little we started just like, picking up clients and picked up more clients, reinvested the money, and just got better and better and better equipment to the point where like we had basically outgrown the backyard already. Like we could not continue to grow the business anymore in the backyard. I had like 30 clients. I was coaching like 12 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, tired as shit, but I had a bunch of money saved up. So we managed to, we just started doing some research, got a broker, just took our shot and, opened the gym. And, here it's been it's been a year and a half, I think, since we've been open in the actual gym location. And it's just been like the same story. Like it just kind of has snowballed. Everything is just snowballed.
Yeah, and you guys have already expanded too, right?
Yeah, we expanded about right before the beginning of the year, and we're even talking about another possible expansion.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I'm excited to dive in. So, just talking some numbers and stuff. What was the initial investment to open the first space? Just out of curiosity.
We started with $50K each, right?
I thought it was more. I thought it was like
a little more, but if you do the numbers, it'll probably be a little more. But our initial investment was to both go half and half, 50K, and things happened along the way. There was just expenses that just came out of nowhere, and so if I give you an exact number, I probably wouldn't be able to. But
probably so I'm gonna say it's hard to give you like an exact number, but I had already invested a ton of money into like equipment in my yard. Like I had probably spent already $100,000 of my own money. Plus saved like almost another $100,000, just to kind of give you like some idea of how much was already spent. So like just from my own pocket, I had already, we're probably talking about, 150K all in all, just off from my side. And then if you add in like what Gus put into, so we're probably talking like 200 plus grand. And that's just to start up. But because I think we had a pretty good start, most gyms don't have that. I think from what I've understood, most gyms don't have that, they don't have as much capital to start. So they start very bare bones. So we had quite a lot of stuff right at the start.
How long did it take? So when you guys opened, really, how long did it take to see success, to kind of feel like like the momentum was going and maybe this is gonna work out?
Well, the first couple months were, we started off already opening with like 96 members, I believe. We had pre-orders, so we had a lot of signups.
And that was just like how'd you guys do that? Just like a pre
Yeah, like a pre-sale. We offered like the OG membership, sign up now, we'll lock you in rate. So we got a lot of signups from that. And then after, just everything was just like a domino effect. People just kept signing up, and
I would say like 3 months. Like it was pretty fast. Like we did not expect it to. Like we were like, yo, as long as we got the rent paid, that we're good.
Yeah.
That was like our mentality. Like let's just let's just focus on breaking even. We're gonna pay the rent, and then we had like about 100 people to start off, which had us about there already. And then like within 3 months, like we went from like 100 members to like 200 members in the span of like 3 or 4 months. It just blew up. We were like shocked, honestly. And it just, it was crazy.
That's incredible. I mean, that type of growth in such a short period of time. Were there moments where you're like, crap, like do we have the infrastructure to handle this pace? I mean, what were you guys thinking?
Every day.
we're
So it was stressful. Like it was a good stress, but it was stressful. It was like, holy crap, like I'm trying to train my clients, and there's like new people coming every day, and like I don't even know who these people are. And it happened so fast. Like it was a little bit stressful trying to navigate it all, but we kind of got the hang of it pretty quickly.
Definitely. And just for the people who are going to listen, let's talk business model real quick. So from what I know, obviously you guys are open gym concept with, you guys have training options. Is predominant revenue from open gym? I mean, what is majority of revenue these days?
It would be membership based. So we do memberships, and then we also run the space to our trainers. Shout out to them. They're rock stars. And so that's basically like our big source of revenue. And then we also do a lot of personal training. Like we really focus on personal training, and that's basically like our bread and butter for ourselves. So.
And you guys are both still training a lot of clients?
I train full time. I train almost like 30 to 40 hours a week minimum. So.
Yeah, I want to say cut down to part-time right now, but definitely still training clients.
Definitely. So you guys were open for how long before you took on the expansion?
About a year. Like, like our big, like when we were talking our shit, we're like, it only took us a year to expand, like it really did. Like in a year we were ready to expand, and it was not even a year. I think we were talking about it even before then, but it just, the whole leasing process and negotiation just takes forever. It's like a nightmare. So.
Yeah, it wasn't really much it wasn't our minds, but we figured it'd probably be like in a year or two, or another year or two. But yeah, we just had an opportunity. A tenant next to us bailed from their lease, and we just took the opportunity and took it.
I love it. Yeah, you guys are a good story of just like, jumping off a cliff, building the airplane on the way down. How has that gone? Because I mean, we haven't spoke, really since that happened. How has the expansion gone? And I want to dive into some of that a little bit deeper.
So we're really blessed that like the expansion went exactly the way that the original gym went. So which it popping. Like as soon as we expanded, same thing happened. Like literally our membership base almost doubled. Like we doubled our space and our membership base doubled almost like within a few months.
And how many members you guys at now?
So we're in the mid 400s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah. If you add all our memberships, we're in the mid 400s. Like we just got our like letter from Gym Master being like, yo, we need to pay us more because like you guys have too many members. So like, yeah, we're killing it for sure.
Yeah, it's freaking epic. Now, for the other gym owners out there that are listening to this, and obviously like there's a ton of success and good stories. I know there were tough times, and with the infrastructure side and maybe tough trainers you had to work with and things like that. What were some of the most difficult parts of this growth journey? Because with a lot of growth also comes a lot of headaches.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just opening the gym alone, there's a lot. You run into maintenance issues, you run into subordination issues, you run into just dealing with
difficult people.
At one point you're gonna feel like you're the bad guy, but something that has to get done because we have a model that we follow, culture, and that's kind of what this gym is built on, and that's how we go about it. So yeah, we really enforce that, and
you know, like we took a lot of risk in opening like both the original gym and the new one. That was like really scary, you know. Like I went through months of stress, like just like I was really stressed out. Just it was hard, but like we took that plunge. Like it's not like it came without like easily. Like it was definitely really difficult. And then like Gus said, you know, you run into some issues like you have to deal with like maintenance issues. You know, just more money, right? We probably put over 100 grand.
More money,
Yeah, more money, more problems. Like we put more than 100 grand into the new space. So like finding ways to get that money, you know, and the crazy part is like we didn't have to take any crazy loans out. We're not in a lot of debt. You know, that's the best part about it. Like we just grind. We grind and like, you know, we hustle and we make money and we're able to use that to like, you know, fund our space. And that's the coolest thing. So, but yeah, I think like a big challenge too has been like making sure that everybody that comes here is like, you know, the kind of people we want to have here. Like we have like a kind of a culture that we have, and like we try to keep things friendly. And you know, whenever we see something that's like outside of that, you know, it's tough. Like to, you know, it's tough to enforce that at times.
Yeah, I think a lot of people discredit how hard it actually is. I think we hear a lot about success stories, you know, your guys' story. There's a lot of stories out there of massive success, and you sort of see the tip of the iceberg, but you don't see all the bad shit and the toxicity and the things that you have to deal with the day to day. And those days that it's almost like, because going through that expansion, and it's something that, you know, I've done a couple times, looking to do again, and you guys have now done, it's the same as like starting over again almost, because it's in fact, the more you have, the more that you have to lose. So you already got proof of concept, you have a successful business, and then you're risking it all to try and do it again. And people don't realize that the expansion is harder than opening, because you really don't know, and you're risking something that's already good to potentially
Right. To make it better.
achieve something that's better.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always happen.
Right.
What were some of the strategies you guys put into place so when you expanded that you think contributed to the success? Obviously, from the outside looking in, you got some freaking awesome equipment in there. You've got awesome members spreading the word. But what were the strategies you guys put in place to really create success around the expansion?
Well, majority, I mean, we kind of just separated the flow. Like the first gym, it was great. Just at one point, it was just very crowded. And, you know, sometimes people don't like being in that environment. So I think with the expansion, I mean, it gave us more room for equipment, but we're pretty much able to cater to more people. You know, there's some people that just don't just do powerlifting. They like to bodybuild, use machines and, you know, cardio. So I feel like most of that influx of members was just having that extra space, but also, again, just upkeeping with the culture, just friendly, uplifting, building a community. People are just, you know, you come in here, everyone for the most part knows each other. It's not just a gym where you just come in, put your headphones on, and that's it, you're done. But I feel like a lot has to do with just that connection that people have with each other here.
Budgeting. Like I can't understate the importance of like having a budget. You know, like we set a budget, like of how much we would spend on equipment, how much we would spend on like build outs, you know, how much we had to allot for rent, et cetera, and like how many members we needed to achieve that goal. So I think like budgeting, setting that goal, knowing like how like financially where we needed to be at, and then knowing, you know, what needed to get spent, like what was priority, like having a priority list, what was priority and what wasn't. And, you know, sticking to that. I think that was like, if you don't have a good budget, like I said, then your business is doomed from the beginning. Like we didn't just buy random shit. Like we like really thought everything out and budgeted, and we're like, all right, like we need this. This is like what we can have space for. So
Absolutely. Having structure is key. And I think a lot of owners that get into the gym business, we come from a background of passion, and we're not the most structured people. Like I know I'm not. And so it's cultivating that as we grow and expand the business and becoming a better business owner by implementing structure, budgeting, all the stuff that maybe isn't as fun, but it's necessary to grow.
you're more structured than us, that's for sure.
I don't know. Who knows, right? But yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, obviously, like I let my numbers, my metrics really guide my decision making. With, you know, I drip a little bit of passion in there and vision and stuff. But yeah, that's probably what I've seen as like the biggest downfall of a lot of gym owners. The ones that don't work out are the ones that, first of all, they think it's going to be easier than it ends up being, because you don't just open a space, get 24/7 access and some equipment and let it
Oh, yeah.
That's not how it's working.
When people think it's that
Yeah. There's actually there was a study done on like prisoners of war, and it was the ones that were actually less optimistic that lived longer, because it was the ones that thought they'd be out by Christmas or something. Once that didn't happen, they became more like mentally defeated. So if we like just the idea of like we're in this thing for the long haul, like longer time horizons, like thinking it's going to be hard and willing to put in the work, will accumulate to more success typically. So that's a good bit there.
Right.
Very cool. So, obviously you guys are experiencing a tremendous amount of growth. What is the vision? Where do you go from here?
So we're currently like working on another expansion at the moment. There's nothing guaranteed, but like our land, like there's another space open in our lot that we're trying to get, but our landlord wants to like kind of wait and see if they get any like offers from like big corporations and stuff like that. So like, we're hoping that they'll let us take our shot. So like they know we're interested, but it's like you're dating some chick and like she thinks that there's something else out there, and you're like, nah, I'm the one. What do you mean?
It's a negotiation process, right? And I mean, I'm surprised. I could see how your landlord might think like he's trying to almost mitigate risk by diversifying who he's leasing to. Because if you guys something happens and you guys leave, then he's screwed on 3 spaces instead of 2.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I get that.
So that's definitely like a thing. And then we're also kind of like talking to somebody else possibly about even opening a second gym. So it's like I don't feel like we're quite there yet, because it's a really big step, and like just the growth that's happening here is so fast. Like, and it's hard to think about. I like mentally I can't even think about wrapping my head around having a second one. Just like how hard this one is, like to manage, how much work it takes, and how much I literally have to be here and I'm on all the time, which is tough. But yeah, I can't think of a second. But we're working on it. There's like opportunities out there, and like we're open to it. So those are some of the things, and then hopefully in the future, getting an even bigger like space. Like we're about 6,000 square feet right now. So like our ultimate goal is like once this lease is up in a few years, is get something that's like 15,000, 20,000 square feet, something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever I'm talking to people about, that I own a gym, the gym business, they're always like, when are you opening the next one, the second one, the third one? And I'm like, yo, hold on. They don't realize like how difficult just having it on already is. And then the amount of like processes and systems you need in place to successfully duplicate like a second actual location versus just getting a bigger location is so much different, because you have to have staff over there. You guys would have to split apart and separate your time. I mean, there's a lot of variables at play, and then you factor in just the distance and community, and versus like having just getting bigger spaces typically is easier to do because it's singular and you have more control in the one location. So that always cracks me up. I think because normal people that don't own gyms just think that's like your next step.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's so easy. Like everybody thinks it's so easy. Like people don't realize how difficult it is to actually open a gym and like run a gym. It's a lot of work. Like I've heard people say, "Oh, like yeah, I'm gonna open a gym in like a year." I'm like, "Yeah, good luck, buddy."
Yeah, it'll make a grown man cry for sure.
Oh yeah, I probably lost even more hair. But like, I mean, it's stressful. There's times I'm like, did I really? Do I know what I got myself into? Like, holy crap, it's a lot. But at the end of the day, like, I think like we're also learning as we go. So like, and like we learn from experience. Certain things happen, and then we kind of put systems in place, put procedures in place to to make sure that things operate more smoothly. So,
absolutely. Yeah, like you said, I think a lot of people think it's going to be easy, and it ends up not being easy, and therefore then they struggle and go out of business. One of the things I want to talk about is I don't think we see a lot of successful partnerships in business, and especially gyms, because of like egos that are involved.
Oh yeah.
What has made your guys' partnership successful? What advice would you give to someone else looking to find a partner to open a gym?
Well, hey, JC, honestly,
JC's like, no, it's not something you're listen.
Yeah, you really piss me off, honestly.
I piss him off sometimes, but he loves me. We're honestly, it's like a yin and a yang thing. We've always said it. He's more of like the impulsive guy, just like, let's get it done. And I'm more of like, oh, let's chill, let's talk about it, and kind of put some thought into it. And yeah, I feel like we don't really disagree much on what we have to do to take the gym to the next level, because ultimately in the end, that's our goal. We want to do better. We're always hungry for more. So
if it were two of me's, it would not work. So I did say that. Yeah, there's got to be like a yin and the yang, you know. There's like I think it's just like your personalities just kind of have to match. Like I think that's big.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whereas I think a lot of people partner because they're like, oh, well, that guy has money and I have money, so we'll just do it together. But they don't look at, wait, are his strengths my weaknesses and vice versa?
It's like a marriage.
Do we actually mess? It's like a marriage. I mean, it's like a relationship. It's you have to be able to fill in each other's gaps to I think to be successful. And when your partnership is purely predicated upon finance or just easiness, I guess,
Right.
it's not going to be as successful long term, and or the egos will clash and people want to go in different directions, and that makes a messy divorce.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think like, you know, fortunately, like, you know, we just happen to have like personality types that match, and like, it's not easy. Still, it's not easy, but it makes it easy. Uh, like if I want to do something, then you know, Gus is usually like, all right.
Sorry, you're back.
Unless I'm like off the deep end, and he's like, yo, let's shit up a bit. It's gonna happen.
I fought him with the expansion. I was like, I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, he did not want to expand. We were very comfortable before we started. Like, nah, dude, like we need to do this. Like this is like the perfect opportunity for us.
Yeah, sometimes like I'm more of like a visual learner, so I know he mentioned it, and then like I don't know, I got to see the space. You know, I need to have an idea. Yeah, so then I saw it, and I was like, yo, let's fucking do it. You know, all right.
You gotta warm him up a little bit.
Yeah, you do. Because it's like you were mentioning, like I'm more of like the less optimistic. It's like I don't know, like I think about the risks, but in the end, I mean, yeah, it's the reason why it takes so long thinking about something because you know I just have to make sure it makes sense, you know. But in the end, also we trust each other, and I think that's very important as well. Trust, because I know you know his decisions aren't gonna affect the gym in a way where it just screws both of us, right, and vice versa. Yeah, but definitely our relationship we definitely learned a lot more about each other just doing this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what would be a piece of advice you'd give to someone that's looking to open their gym or they're struggling? And
You know, it's not hard, but at the same time, nothing's impossible. Just some things take longer to achieve than others.
Where is it, sir?
Yeah, that's my train of thought. Yeah, but you know, it's in the beginning with us two, like we ran into a lot of obstacles and we just pushed through. It's you can't. What is it that you say? Like the only way out is through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say humble yourself. Like, number one, humble yourself. Know when to admit when you're wrong. Know when to admit when you need help. And don't be afraid to like ask for help, and don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong, right? I think like me, the person I've had to become, like, you know, I think to do well in my business is, you know, really be able to take a hard look at myself and be like, yo, like I'm screwing up. I'm messing up in this. Like I need to like be better. Like, so I live my life in a way that I'm constantly finding ways to be better, and I'm constantly finding ways to make the gym better. So like, I think that in order to have, that's part of the reason why we've had as much success as we've had and why my business has gone well. And I would say you have to learn you have to develop that as an entrepreneur. So I would tell someone to, you know, that's like the best advice I can give you, and grind. It's going to take a long time. You're not going to open a gym in a year or two unless you're rich. But even then, you're probably just going to lose a lot of money. So you have to know the ins and outs of the business. I've been doing this for 13 years, you know, since I was 18 years old. I've known the ins and outs of the business. I've been coaching, you know, I've been coaching other coaches. So I know how the business works. And I think that's part of the reason you have to really learn the ins and outs. It's like, like at a restaurant, right? The manager of the restaurant knows how to do all the jobs, right? So you have to get to that point where you know how to do all the jobs.
yeah, I think even one of the biggest realizations I've had really this last year as we've continued to grow is like the owner a lot of times can be the bottleneck. Like your own knowledge of business and your business acumen and or just in the industry itself can hold you back. And so like investing in your own knowledge, your growth, mentorship opportunities, seminars, and continuing to get smarter. Like I think that when I talk to people about business, I talk to them through the lens of, hey, like you have like you might have the knowledge right now. Let's say a trainer that wants to open a gym, like they're a trainer, they're a great trainer, but like to be a gym owner, you have to learn so many other tricks of the trade and educate yourself on so many other facets to like before jumping all into the owning portion to be a good productive owner. And I think taking the time to build the knowledge base, like learn by doing. Like I'm all about trial by fire, hop in, learn by doing, but at the same time, knowing when you're wrong and investing in help.
100%. Yeah, I think
it's all this education.
I remember you said a quote about something.
Well,
Kind of stood on that. I'll bring it up later.
Yeah. But hey, I think that was pretty much all the questions I wanted to ask you guys. I mean, you guys have obviously had a ton of success. With your journey, man. You always. I feel like every week you're getting
done for a while. Sure. I think we got everything we wanted to get. So.
Yeah. I'm like, what are these guys? What the hell? Like, yeah. Good. Well, that's awesome. Hey, well, when you're ready to buy new stuff and sell your used stuff, I'll buy it. All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you guys' time today. I think this is a really good episode. I think it's going to be really motivational for a lot of gym owners,
don't call us.
Great stories.
There's so many calls.
Where they need to find you on
so many calls. It's ridiculous. My phone never stops ringing. So hit us up on Instagram, ideally. Hit us up on Instagram. My Instagram is Chapin Strength. His is and then we have our gym one, which is Fuerza Gym LLC. Don't forget the at.